We have two Am I the A-holes now, so if you guys want to join in on the chat, you are more than welcome to do that. Again, don't forget about the Discord channel that we have over for Original Gamer Life. Be sure to join that. That's where we're pretty much pumping everything through Original Gamer Life. So if you're following me on Discord at The Real Brandalorian, be sure to go to Original Gamer Life because that's where everything is going to be going at this point. You can always send me a direct message. But as far as topics go, videos, anything that we're really sharing, it's all going to go to Original Gamer Life. So here we go. We have the Am I the A-hole? This is the first one. Am I the a-hole for not giving one of my son's toys to my nephew, causing him to have an hours-long tantrum? And I have a feeling I know my audience pretty well, and I have a feeling I know which way you guys are going to sort of be focused on this one. But just based on the headline, you guys are more than welcome to type it into the chat, whether he's an a-hole or not the a-hole. David B. already saying, nope, he's not the a-hole. Tyler, any thoughts on the headline?
How old is the nephew again?
It doesn't say. This is just the headline. Am I the a-hole for not giving one of my son's toys to my nephew, causing him to have an hours-long tantrum?
I mean, it's son's toy, so I'm going to say no.
Tyler says not the a-hole. Captain Hammer in the Twitch chat also agreeing with you. Immediate thought, not the a-hole. Let's get to the story. And this one comes from Thanksgiving. As the person posts, we hosted Thanksgiving at my place. My brother, his wife, and their almost 4-year-old son were among the guests. As people were leaving, my brother asked if my nephew could take home one of my 2-year-old son's toy trucks. My nephew had been playing with it nonstop since they arrived and wanted to keep it. My brother said that he'd replace the toy if I told him where I got it. I told my brother that I'd be happy to give him a link to the store where I bought it, but I would not give him the toy then and there. I refused for 2 reasons. Firstly, my brother/sister-in-law have a terrible habit of giving my nephew everything he asks for. He is way too old for that. Secondly, I don't want to reinforce in my nephew that it's okay to just take things that he wants. My brother said that my nephew would throw a tantrum if he didn't get the toy then and there, and that everything would be easier if I just let him take the toy and get sent a replacement in the mail. More and more people, as I'm reading this, are chiming in with, no, this dude's not the a-hole in the Twitch chat. This guy continues, I told my brother that I would not be an enabler for my nephew's bad behavior and that it's my brother/sister-in-law's problem if he throws a tantrum. Of course, the inevitable happened. My nephew started shrieking uncontrollably, maybe would be a better word there, I don't know, at the top of his lungs, and my brother, sister-in-law, and nephew had to leave. Later that evening, I got an angry text from my brother saying that my nephew screamed his head off for the entire 3-hour car ride home and only stopped screaming after he literally passed out from exhaustion. He said that the tantrum was my fault, since it would have been completely avoided if I had just given my nephew the toy, and accused me of backseat parenting, since in his words, it's not my place to set an example for his son. Excuse me. My wife thinks we should have just handed the toy over to make everything easier, especially since our son has a ton of toys and is not particularly attached to that specific truck. And he wouldn't have noticed if it was missing for just a couple of days. I still maintain that it's well within my rights to set an example for my nephew, even if it goes against my brother/sister-in-law's parenting style of coddling their son. And that the tantrum is 100% a result of their terrible parenting habits. Now, is this guy the a-hole?
Definitely no.
I was going to say, everybody in the Twitch chat right now pretty much saying, no, this dude is not the a-hole. Oh, Big Dog is back. Hello, Big Dog. Do you want to play Star Wars with me? We're not playing right now. We might hop on tonight, and we're going to be hopping on this week. So just be paying attention. Make sure you have the notifications turned on the stream, because we jumped on over the weekend. I was kind of hoping that you would pop up so that we could all join up and gang up together. You got to come join our guild, the Original Gamer Life Guild. All right, so back to the Twitch chat for the Am I the A-hole. David B says, now definitely not the a-hole. A monster is being created. Ramirez says, terrible. Setting the kid up for value. Captain Hammer says, definitely not the a-hole. Kid's already spoiled. Needs to be told no. Frank says, that's just funny. Sounds like a spoiled kid. Yeah. And Luigi says, if this kid keeps getting what he wants, he's going to grow up to be something worse. And Padilla just writes big old capital letters N-O. So I think we're all in agreement here that, yeah, this dude is not the a-hole for what he did. Somebody over on the Reddit thread wrote, how can you backseat parent if there's no front seat parents? That's a pretty solid point there.
I like that quote. Just like video games is spiritual opium.
I mean, I've been witness to this a few different times where a kid's just throwing a goddamn fit and the kid just won't shut up. I specifically remember a time when we were in Disneyland and one of my cousins was just throwing a fit. I think she was maybe 4 or 5 at the time, and she wanted this robotic dog, just screaming bloody murder, and she got it. Like in the back of my brain, I'm like, there's no chance in hell if that was my kid, I'd be letting her have that. But it's always different, too, when you are a parent, so. But, yeah, I would agree with this dude is definitely not the a-hole. All right, second Am I the A-hole? We're going to try to get through this stuff pretty quickly here. So here's the headline. Again, do the same thing. If you guys want to chime in the chat, you're more than welcome to make a judgment based solely on the headline, of course, knowing that there's going to be more details coming soon. Am I the a-hole for lashing out at my husband for suggesting I stop buying formula instead of canceling his streaming services to save money? One more time on that headline. Let it sink in. Am I the a-hole for lashing out at my husband for suggesting I stop buying formula instead of canceling his streaming services to save money?
Okay. Important factor we got to know. Which streaming service?
Well, you don't get to know that yet.
I mean, that's what's going to make all the difference.
But here's the thing. It's based just on the headline.
Yeah.
A-hole or not the a-hole?
I'm going to say not the a-hole.
Not the a-hole. All right. Twitchy Twist agrees with you. Not the a-hole. All right, to the story. Here we go. This is being written by a 32-year-old female, and she says that she's the breadwinner and have a toddler and a 9-month-old baby. Pumping them out quick. Their needs are never ending, and everything I buy is expensive. My husband, 37-year-old male, is unemployed, but uses part of my salary for his subscription slash paid streaming services, which cost about $80 a month. He's got Hulu Premium, Netflix, HBO, Amazon, ESPN Plus, and more. So there's your answer. It's a whole ton of stuff. Hold on, I'm checking the Twitch chat really quick. Frank says divorce him. So one more time, just in case if anybody else is missing the headline. Am I the a-hole for lashing out at my husband for suggesting I stop buying formula instead of canceling his streaming services to save money? I'm wondering if they get to the point here about the job situation. Anyway, so apparently they have like every streaming service out there. She goes on to say, I keep finding myself coming up short with money. I kept neglecting buying hygiene products and have only one pair of shoes that look decent. I can't remember the last time I bought anything nice for myself and keep feeling guilty just thinking of going shopping for stuff that is necessary. I sat
Hold
down.
on. Full stop. A woman with one pair of shoes? I don't believe this story.
So she goes on to say, I sat him down for a discussion and told him his subscriptions are taking money. I can't keep paying for them when I have other responsibilities. I asked him to choose one channel, and he threw a fit, calling me ridiculous to think streaming services are the reason I'm always short on money, and blamed it on the expensive and unnecessary makeup. He calls it fake up, by the way. that I keep wasting my money on. I got angry and said he needed to respect that makeup is part of my personality and won't quit buying and wearing it. First of all, it's your money, lady.
Wait, hold on. Makeup? I thought this was about formula.
Well, that's his point, I guess, was that you need to stop buying makeup. He said that I was trying to financially control him since I got offended when he pointed out that I waste money on makeup and explained that he cannot and will not be bought with money no matter how desperate he is. Doesn't make much sense there. Whatever. Forging ahead, I said okay, then let me cancel all streaming services and keep one till he can pay for them once he finds a job. But he refused and said since he's the stay-at-home parent, then those streaming services are a right and not a privilege. And I should keep paying for them without complaining since he's staying with our son all day and it's taxing just like my job. Frank says this will end up with him in a ditch. Or I'm sorry, dead in a ditch. Ramirez says easy to criticize when it's not your money. Captain Hammer says screw this guy. She's not an a-hole. He's just a jackass. All right. Forging ahead. Here we go. Final straw was when he suggested I stop buying formula and go back to breastfeeding since that is unnecessary and expensive. I was floored and was seething. I lashed out at him, asking him if he literally thought canceling formula is better than his precious subscriptions. Wait a minute. If he's a stay-at-home parent, how's he expecting her to feed the baby with the boob fluid? Right? She's going to pump and dump? Back to the story. Also, I work. I have no time to breastfeed. He just said he doesn't know what it is anymore. He just said he doesn't know what it is anymore and that I was pushing him. But I told him he no longer has the choice and I'll just stop paying for all of his channel/subscriptions altogether, which had him reply that I was being unfair and unappreciative of his efforts. He stormed off after calling me controlling and kept shouldering me. Oh, kept cold shouldering me. Oh, and apparently a bunch of people had... Because Luigi says this dude needs a job. Padilla does bring up a pretty good point. He says, although I don't agree with him, it's both their money since they are married. Imagine the guy earning all the money but not giving one penny to his wife. I mean, there does need to be a balance there somewhere. Twitchy Twist says, are you watching TV or are you watching the baby? Right? I mean, I have a ton of streaming services, and I barely have time to watch anything, and I don't have a baby or a toddler. I have a 10-year-old. So she added a couple of edits in here. It says, he left his previous job due to issues with his employer. He struggled with finding a job in his field and refused to work in other related fields, saying his dignity won't let him since he worked hard for his degree. Oh, blow it out your ass, dude. Jesus. My makeup gets replaced every few months. It normally costs $50+, but that's every few months, not every month. I stopped breastfeeding for health issues and now work, but he never stopped criticizing my decision to use formula, calling it a waste of money when I could push past the pain and provide our son. This guy sounds like just a piece of garbage, dude.
Yeah, I'm beginning to wonder why they're still married.
Yeah. And then she also says, I still do the majority of the work around the apartment.
So this guy's dignity won't allow him to go get a job, but it'll allow him to mooch off his family?
Is
Mooch
it
off his
Cousin
wife?
Eddie?
Like,
I was going to say, is this Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation? Because remember, he was holding
Yeah,
out for a
right.
management position.